What's up, everyone, to another video, Full Speed Impulse, and today all our videos have been building up to this moment here, and it's finally time to put the XR100 together. Our garage is a freaking mess from trying to get this project done as quick as we can. Don't know if it's going to get done in time for our trip to Windrock just because of parts being delayed and still out in the post office doing its crazy stuff. But here we are, getting it together. Hopefully get it done in time, and let's get at it. Going to be a lot of time lapses and all that because it is going to be a long project, and we will stop in certain points of when we're installing upgrades like our BBR chassis reinforcement. We also have a DDM rear shock with a Motorworks linkage that's supposed to bump it up about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in the rear, which I'm really excited about. We also got a sweet XRs only pipe. We've already done the big bore and all that you've seen on the motor. And we already did the heavy duty springs in the front. We got some sweet mica bars coming for this thing. Got some nice graphics and all that to lay out on this thing. Brand new plastics. It's going to look sweet. We are super excited for this build with you guys. So I appreciate you guys watching all the other videos and building up to this moment here. But it's time to get at it.
We worked our week, we need a day, 24-hour getaway. Let's take it slow, fill up our tank, try to forget yesterday.
Alright guys, so our first step here was getting the motor mocked into the frame, and as we were doing that, we figured we might as well install our BBR frame reinforcer. And what that pretty much does is eliminates that crusty skid plate that we had right here, which is nice because we didn't take any attention to painting that or doing anything. So we kind of fumbled on that, but not even thinking about that this was going to actually replace it. So that was actually a nice win for us. And then as you can see, it put your 2 fresh bolts in here, and then you get your one back there, and that's all it is. And then you just tighten them down, and you don't use the frame or your chassis bolts anymore for underneath. And then plus, besides that, they just tell you that depending on how hard your bike's already been ridden, you might have to manipulate the frame a little bit to get these bolts to slide in. I think it was a win for us because I don't think our frame is that nice, to be perfectly honest with you guys, that everything was apart, which allowed it way easier to manhandle and slide everything through. I think if there was more buttoned up, it could have been a little bit more difficult.
The weather's hot, the beer's ice cold. Tie that tube up to that boat. Pack the Yeti, rally up your friends. Find some water, jump on in. Then let's go, go, go and play. Soak that sun up on that lake. Feeling good on a Sunday fun day. Let's go, go, get carried away. Grab a drink, time to party. Chips fall where they may. We're feeling good on a Sunday fun day. Yes, Sunday fun day.
Alright everyone, we've been putting in a lot of work on this XR100. So let's go through some of the upgrades that we've done so far. So as you guys might have seen in a previous video, we did get some heavy duty springs put in here with some 15-weight fork oil for the front. These here are just off eBay, and they were pretty cheap. They're like 12 bucks or something like that, so not too shabby. Our bars are still in the mail, so we had to put our ones that came with the bike on there. They're really low. The ones that we have are pit bike low bars, which are nice as far as that we're going to have plenty of cable left over, which will actually extend these up a little bit and take away a lot of that slack that you see here. So that's no big deal. Under here is where you guys seen we put a BBR rev box, which will be pretty good for this motor. Our next upgrade here, guys, was a 22mm Mikuni carb which I am a firm believer that these carbs are slept on, guys. People kind of pass up on the 22 and want to go straight to the big ones, the 24, 26s and all that. But we ran this on our KLX 110L with some slight mods on it before we went to a big bore, and this carb did huge gains for us. And what's so great about this carb is that it pretty much fits right how your stock carb was. Nice is it has a plunger setup for the choke instead of there being like the butterfly flap in there. So you're getting less restriction just right off the gate with that. And then on top of it, the way it's smoothed out and all that, it's got a great flow design to it. And the other big thing is that you can use your existing cap off your old carb, meaning you don't have to do all that hefty work putting a new cable in and all that. You could literally just take your top off your old carb. You'll have to pull your slide out and all that stuff, but we even use our existing spring. But use the slide that comes in this 22 Mikuni carb. Just thread that cable back through, get all buttoned up and tight, and you're good to go. And then for your boot here, it probably would have fit without heating it up, but we did heat this up with the heat gun just to get it a little flexible, and then we slid it right over, clamped down, and we're good to go. And we wanted to run a air box still because of all the water and everything we go through. I didn't want to run an open air filter if I didn't have to, but we did do a couple air holes that they recommended with the big bore. Just simple up here, and you already have an airflow vent through here anyways, so there shouldn't be a ton of water going up through here. So not the most, as far as maybe they want you to put like the air holes maybe on the side more and all that, but still up here, it's still going to allow more air flow than it being enclosed. So that's what we're okay with doing. And then you make those little vents and all that you could put in there, but I think we're going to be fine just with that. And another reason why we put this up here too is that if this ends up failing us or not working out great, we could just cut out a piece of plastic and just get some good epoxy and just close that sucker shut. So not a big deal. And then obviously you guys see we got the XR's only exhaust. A lot of people complain that it takes a while to make. When I talked to the guy about these exhausts, what they do is that they make a whole bunch of small pipes, and then they'll move on to their next size of pipes for different bikes. And that's how they kind of cycle through. They don't just like, oh, we got one order for an XR100. Let's pump out that pipe. They don't do it that way, which maybe is inefficient and frustrating to customers. But these pipes are so well built. The packaging is fantastic. Everything about them is super awesome. They come with the spark arrestor, but we did take ours out. And I think it's worth the wait, guys, if you have the time. So if not, those FMF pipes are pretty good. But we wanted to go XRs only because guess what? We got an XR. And as you see here, we got the DDM rear shock. Haven't mounted that crazy reservoir that most people just put up here. I've heard of people undoing this, but your hose and then rerouting and spinning it. But you have to be careful that you don't let the gases out of the shock, because then you'd have to have the shock regassed or whatever, if I'm saying that correctly. But either way, we didn't want to mess with that. So we are going to mount it up here, but I am trying to look for some type of rubber booting or something to put around this so we don't scratch up our paint, and it'll also give that better grip with the hoses. So besides that, we got our swing arm all attached. Everything's tightened down, torque specs, cases are on, kickstarter's on, clutches works, throttle cable, all that stuff. This bike is almost ready to go. Now all we got to do is really button the wheels up, put the plastic on, seat, graphics, and we'll be good to go for now. Oh, and we also did not get our Motorworks linkage in, which I'm super bummed about because I feel like it just like makes these bikes look completely different. Taking a little bit of that granny sag out the back and kind of bumping it up. I know, granny sag, I know, sounds right and fitting, and that's kind of what it looks like. So, but we will be doing a separate video on that later once that comes in, which will be nice because it'll be a good comparison for you guys to see where the bike sit before and then after. And then after that, we'll see how the bike feels. I don't want to feel like it's angled, like it's trying to buck us off the whole time. I'm a little concerned about that. But there is a mod that you can get the triple clamps for the front that will bump the front end up, which will give the XR only a nice healthy stance in the first place. So I would not be disappointed if we had to go that route. So, which would be great video content for you guys for more XR mods. So this will be the last time lapse. Let's get this bike done, guys. I'm so pumped to get it all back together and fire this thing up for the first time.
Take a moment to relax, spend the afternoon kicking back. It's a no worries kind of day. Let's feed our soul in our happy place. 'Cause all we got is one day left. Let's make it count, make it the best. 'Cause Monday's rolling around the bend and we're a long ways off till next weekend. And let's go, go, go and play. Soak that sun up on that lake. Feeling good.
All right, guys, there she is, XR100, almost done. So this is as far as we can get before our trip and all that. And we didn't get our Mica pit bike low bars, which are taller than this here. These are actually pretty low. The other thing we didn't get was our MotoWorks linkage on the back. But besides that, and some grips, that's about it. So we're going to ride this bike a little bit and figure out where we need to go from here. But she's dialed pretty good, guys. So I got the hubs looking good. The wheels look good. Plastic. I thought I'd be more upset about this tank being a little on the yellow side, guys, because it's still not perfect. But she looks crisp. It's a 98. That's what it is. You know, if you don't have a yellow tank, she ain't that old. You know what I mean? Just beautiful bike. So we got that DDM rear shock all mounted up. 22 millimeter Mikuni's running good. Had to take out the BBR rev box. Faulty right out the box. Definitely gave us some troubles. And then for our DDM reservoir here, what we did is we actually took a radiator hose and we cut it in half. And we actually put a little bit sliver on the back side right there. And then a little bit around the strap here. So it's got a really strong grip, and also it's not going to wear on the frame. So that's the bike. Let's fire it up. That'll be that. All right, and if you guys were wondering, we have a 125 main in there and a 15 pilot on the 22 millimeter Mikuni. And she runs pretty good. XR pipe sounds good. We got the spark arrestor out, which is just really a drain screen, but running crisp, guys. Hi guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the build on this XR100. It was an experience for us. It is a pretty awesome bike. Do I think it beats out the KLX 140? I don't know. KLX 140 has a lot more spring travel than that, but we're not done with the XR100 either. We have more upgrades coming for this thing, so stay tuned. And plus, we have a couple KLX 110 builds coming this winter, so it's gonna be good stuff, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.